Israel's been in a drought for 3 years. No rain, no crops, no explanation. Just a prophet named Elijah who told King Ahab this was coming, and then vanished into the wilderness before anyone could kill him. When he finally shows back up, Ahab's first words are, "You troubler of Israel." Elijah says, "Actually, that's on you. You abandoned God and started worshiping Baal. I'm just the one saying it." And somehow, instead of being executed, Elijah talks Ahab into hosting the largest prophet showdown in the history of the ancient world. 850 prophets. One mountain. Elijah alone on the other side. The rules are simple. Both sides build an altar. Both sides pray for fire from heaven. Whoever's God actually shows up, that's the real one. Baal's prophets go first. They pray. They shout. They do rituals. Nothing. They shout louder. Still nothing. This goes on from morning until noon. And then Elijah starts heckling them. He says, maybe shout louder. Maybe he's busy. Maybe he's traveling. Maybe he's asleep. He's doing crowd works at a holy contest in front of all of Israel. The Baal prophets, completely desperate, cut themselves with swords until they're bleeding. The text says this, they do it until evening, still nothing. Elijah's turn. And instead of just praying, he digs a trench around his altar, puts the sacrifice on top, and tells the crowd to pour 4 large jars of water over everything. Do it again. One more time. There's been a 3-year drought. He's soaking the altar. On purpose. When the trench is full, he says 1. Prayer. Calm. Normal length. Fire falls from heaven. Consumes the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, the dirt, the water in the trench. The crowd hits the ground. The Lord, he is God. And Elijah turns to them and says, seize the prophets of Baal. Don't let any escape. They seize them. Elijah takes them to the valley, kills all 450. And then, the text just moves on. He tells Ahab, go eat, rain's coming. A servant spots a cloud the size of a hand on the horizon. That's enough. Elijah outruns Ahab's chariot 17 miles in a rainstorm, on foot. This is where the story probably should end. But then Ahab tells Jezebel what happened, and Jezebel sends Elijah one message. It says, you'll be dead by tomorrow. One threat, from one person. And Elijah, who just faced down 850 prophets, called fire from the sky and outran a horse, runs. He goes a full day into the wilderness, sits under a tree, and asks God to let him die. He says, I've had enough. Then he falls. Asleep, an angel wakes him up, gives him cake and water, tells him to eat because the journey's too much for him. He eats, falls asleep again. Angel comes back, eat again. He eats, then walks 40 days to a cave. God has to ask him directly, what are you doing here, Elijah? He says he's the only one. Left, who cares? He says they're trying to kill him. God doesn't argue, doesn't bring up the fire, doesn't say, you literally just called down lightning in front of all of Israel. God just gives him his next assignment. New kings to anoint. A successor to train. Thousands of people who never bowed to Baal. The breakdown isn't the end of the story, but it's a real part of it. One of the most powerful figures in the Old Testament hid under a tree and asked to die. The divine response wasn't a lecture, it was cake. Make of that what you will. Subscribe for more bad Bible stories, where the stories are ancient, the people are messy, and sometimes the wildest part is not what people believe about the Bible. It is what the Bible actually says.